God sees past our mouth, sees past our issues, hang-ups, and mess-ups, and he sees the potential that we have, the capabilities we have, the gifts that we have. I'm a talker. I come from a long line of talkers. My whole family, a bunch of talkers. Like when my wife first came around and she met my family on my dad's side in Southeast Missouri, we're loud people. We talk, we laugh. You can barely hear each other because there's so many conversations going on. And she comes from a house where there's barely noise. Her dad's the loudest one, and that's not very loud. And she has 4 siblings, or there's 4 of them, and she might be the loudest maybe now because I converted her, but different ecosystem of personalities. And so for me, my greatest, like Simon Peter on the Mount of Transfiguration, he was up there, he saw, I think it was Elijah and Moses, and he didn't know what to say. So he's like, hey, let's build a temple and praise this moment and all this. And he's like, shut. And Jesus said, shut up. That's not what you're supposed to do. You hear that, Catholics? So God doesn't judge us by our mistakes. He doesn't see us by our mistakes. We will be judged. We'll have to answer for everything one day. But he does not see us or name us by our mistakes. He called him Simon Peter because he knew even the very thing that got him in so much trouble when he gave it to God was actually going to be used to build the kingdom like never before. And so one of the greatest lessons I learned from the Holy Spirit and from the Lord is that sometimes I just need to shut up. And that even though I may be able to talk or I have something to say, if I close my mouth long enough, the Holy Spirit can say it through me or somebody else better than I ever could have tried to articulate and say it right. And it's not about me, but when I make it about the Lord, when I make it about Christ, when I make it about the Holy Spirit, and I stop, like Peter, always felt like he had to say something, and it always ended up him putting his foot in his mouth. But when he finally understood that it wasn't about him or about what he thought or about what he wanted to do, God was able to use him in a way. He took what his greatest hang-up was and turned it into something that was powerful for the kingdom. And like Peter, we often can feel unworthy, especially with a major failure. Christ's response to genuine remorse is always an invitation to restore.